Ipsos polling done exclusively for Global News finds 6 in 10 Canadians are avoiding airports right now, choosing to cancel or delay travel plans. And 7 in 10 call the situation a national embarrassment. Only 37% of respondents say the federal government is doing enough to address flight delays and cancellations. Asked who is to blame, 39% say the federal government, airports, airlines, and travelers are equally at fault.
The poll definitely suggests there's a lot of anger right now and uncertainty around travel. We see 6 in 10 Canadians saying that they're either going to delay or cancel travel in the next little bit until this is sorted out. And that's even higher among older Canadians. I think part of the reason for that is probably that their travel might be more related to personal travel, and they're more at risk of COVID and that sort of thing. But overall, we definitely see a very high level of concern among Canadians in what's happening at our airports. And they are spreading the blame around pretty equally between the airports, the airlines, the federal government, and to a much lesser extent, travelers themselves. I think Canadians do realize that this is a complex situation and there's a lot of parties, who are part of this. But our poll found that they were attributing more of the blame to the federal government on certain things. For example, customs delays at the airports. And they were blaming the airports and the airlines for things like check-in delays and security delays. So there was a bit of an attribution of who is at fault based on responsibility. But a number of Canadians also did say that everyone's to blame, and they're going to just wait and travel when things get better. We've seen a lot of news reports about this, and people are aware of what's happening at the airports. Our poll found that there weren't that many Canadians, I think, 5% or so, who said they had personally experienced a delay at the airport. But a lot of people are reading about it in the media, and they're hearing about some of these horror stories of people being stuck in airports and unable to get to their destination, facing very long delays. And so that is causing people to reconsider, whether they want to travel right now. And at the same time, of course, with inflation going as high as it is, travel is expensive and things are getting more expensive, in a lot of ways. So I suspect Canadians are maybe looking at other ways that they can spend their vacation, perhaps closer to home, perhaps driving, although gas prices are going up, that's still a cheaper option. Or just saying, we're going to put this off until things get better. And I, personally have experienced a couple of delays in my recent travels. A recent trip to Calgary, it took me 24 hours to get home, and it was a 3.5-hour flight. These delays are real, and I don't think that there's an easy solution to it. I think Canadians definitely recognize, as we saw in our poll, and as you might have seen or heard in media reports, that there's a lot of factors at play, and people are split on whether this is going to get better by the fall or whether it's going to be continuing to get worse. And it's a sign of a longer term problem on service offerings overall in the post-COVID era.